Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Coding for Dummies. So this is our third lecture in the series for learning C programming language, and our today's topic is variables and data types. So before moving on with variables and data types and what are those, just before that I want to give you a quick overview about how programs actually run on a computer. So here's our RAM or memory. Whenever I say memory or RAM, like I will use it interchangeably. So whenever you execute any program, that particular program is allocated some space in the memory. So if there are suppose four programs, all those four programs will be allocated some space in the memory. So since suppose this particular program one is our C program that has been executed, like we have created the executable file and we have run it. So when the program will run, actually it will be allocated some space in the RAM, and the program is allowed to run within this space only. If the program would try to fetch any other data outside the space that is allocated to it, then the program will throw any error. Okay, so this is the basic overview. Keep this in mind that whenever a program is run, it usually is given some space in the memory, and that space, within that space only, the program has to execute. Okay, so let's take this forward. We'll consider this program 1 as our C program that has been executed, and we'll take this as a reference and proceed with the next slide. Okay, so what are variables? So variables are actually the name of the memory locations and is used to store data. I'll show you this graphic animation. You will be more clear about it. And variables name can be changed and reused many times. So, and it is written by this type and variable list. So now we'll go into details about it. So suppose this is our program. This part we have been given. See, this is the space that has been allocated in the memory to us. Okay, when we run our C program, this particular space has been allocated to us. So what happens is, whenever we say a variable, so what a variable is actually, variable is just a name of memory location and is used to store data. And okay, let's say see, if we write like this, int num, so what this num is a variable. So what a variable is, variable are name of memory locations. So num is a variable because it is a name of what. When we declare this as num, inside the process, the process has been given some memory. So inside the process there will be some memory allocated to store the value of this num. Okay, that is why it is said that these variables are the name of the memory location, because this particular memory is a location inside the memory that has been allocated to this particular process. So what this num is doing is, num is just a reference, or it is a name given to this particular memory address, and this is used to store data. So when, if you say, suppose we have written this part. Okay, let me remove this thing. Yeah, now see, if we have written num is equals to 10, then what will happen is, this value 10 will be stored in this memory location with the memory location name being num. So in future, wherever we want num, or whenever we will tell we want the value of num, so what the computer will do is, it will fetch the value from this particular location and will return this value. Okay, so, and hence, so this first point would be clear. Variables are name of memory location and it is used to store data. Okay, so num is the name of a memory location which is used to store data. Now there comes the second point. Variable name can be changed and reused many times. So what will happen is, if you uh, suppose you have given this at first, okay, int num is equals to 10. So what will happen is, initially num will be saved with the value of 10, but suppose in the second line you have put num is equals to 20. So what will happen is, this 20 value will now be stored to the address which was having the name num. So what will happen is, this 20 will get stored here. So what will happen is, now this 10, the value of 10 will be overwritten, and here the value of the new value will be stored as 20. So after this line, after this particular line, if somewhere it is if we are referring to get the value of num, then 20 will be returned and not 10. Okay, so hence, see the second point, variables name can be changed and reused many times. That is why it is saying variable names can be changed. See, here we have changed, initially it was 10, then we have reassigned the value 20 to this num value. Hence the value of num can be changed, so the first part, and reused many times. So this value of num, once it is put 20, we can use it anywhere we reference num, we will get the value of 20. Okay, and here we are saying, third point is, its syntax is like this: type, then the variable list. Okay, so why am I saying it as, see, this type will discuss it just after this slide. Just remember, just focus on this variable list part. Why we are saying is variable list, we are saying this as a list because just like as a list there are multiple data or multiple names, similarly we can also define these variables like this. See, in this point, int num1 num2, we will discuss about this int later. Just concentrate on this part. See, we can either provide a single name or a multiple names altogether. Okay, or we can provide those names along with their initial values together. See, like we have provided num1 10 and num2 is equals to 20. So suppose we have written this line, so when this line will executed, there will be two memory locations created, one with the name num1, other with the name num2, and initial value that will be stored here is 10, and the initial value that will be stored here is 20. Okay, and suppose if we have not provided any value, then here garbage value is by default a garbage value is put there. Okay, so it is generally recommended to initialize the value that we want here. Okay, so this thing, these 3 points are covered. Variables are name of the memory location and is used to store data. Variables names can be changed and reused many times, and the syntax is like type and variable list. So in this syntax we have understood, okay, what is this variable list? It is a name, it is a name like multiple names all together, like a num1 num2 num3, all names together given separated by comma, and if you want to give them initial values, you just put there equals to 10, then comma num3 equals to 20, comma num3 is equals to 30, like this. Okay, now what is this type actually? So this is the variable. The variable is just this two part. It is a part in the memory with a particular name, and it is used to store data and give a reference to the address in the memory. Okay, now we'll move on to this type, but just before that, just remember what are the rules for naming a variable. It's not like that you can give any name to this particular variable. Okay, so what are the names is, the names should contain alphabet, digit and underscore only. You can't put any other name, any other character in the name. Like you can't put any other character like slash or anything in the uh, name. Okay, so you cannot start it with a digit. See, if we say num1, it is okay because this contain alphabet then digit, but we can't say is 1 then num. Okay, this will be wrong. So it should not start with digit. there is no white space allowed inside a variable. Okay, so suppose if you want to say total sum, so total sum should be together. It's not like we have written first total, then given a space, then written sum. So this particular type of naming will be invalid. Okay, so there shouldn't be any white space, and it should not be any reserved word. So what does this reserved word means is, reserved words are those words which are used by C itself. Okay, for example, this int and all these things are used by the C program itself, and you cannot use these names for naming your variables. Okay, otherwise the C program, or while compiling, it will get confused. Okay, is this the variable names or the reserved word which have a special meaning in C programming language? Okay, now we'll move to the third slide. So as we have discussed previously, what are these types? So as I have told that this particular variable is actually used to store data. See, so the data that we have can be of any type now. So this is what the next slide is: data types. What are the different types of data that are available in C that we can use? So data types are mostly categorized in four parts, like basic, derived, enumeration, void. But for now, I'll discuss basics, and the other will be discussed in the upcoming videos. Okay. So what is a basic data type? Basic data type are those data types that are absolutely basic. Like these things are the building blocks of other data types. Okay. So see, these are basically of four types: integer, character, float, and double. So what an integer is? Integer is like whole numbers, like 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. These types. Characters are like A, B, C. And it's not alphabetical character. Any character, like ampersand and dollar and all these things. Okay, so these things are characters. Float means all the real numbers, like suppose 4.2, 4.3, all these are float numbers. And double is also like a float, but double has more precision as compared to float. Okay. Precision means like after the point, after the decimal, how many extra digits that you can put. So double has more precision as compared to float. Okay, so these are the basic four types of data types. So to represent all these types of data types, there are some reserved words, just as we have talked in the previous slide. We have talked about these reserved words. So there are some reserved words that are used here in C programming language, that when used will tell what type of data that particular location of memory holds. Okay, so for integers there are several types of keywords or several words reserved. See, byte, short, int, and long. So why these four? Okay, we'll come to this part, but let me first summarize all those. Okay, for characters it is char, for float it is float, and for double there are two: one is double, one is long double. So let me clear this ink. Okay, see, this particular byte, what are these things? So as you know that these values or these things are stored in the memory. So in the memory they are stored in the form of bytes. Okay, 1 byte is equals to 8 bits. Okay, so these things, these are particular byte. This is 1 byte, this is 1 byte, this is 1 byte, this is 1 byte. So in the memory what happens is, when we want to store an integer, so we have these four options available. So what does the byte means is, byte is a type of integer that holds only 1 byte of memory. What does mean? Whenever we say that our variable is a byte type, it means that whenever a space is allocated in the memory, it will give 1 byte to that particular variable. Okay, and this short means it will give 2 bytes to the variable. So here if we say our variable is of short type, so what it will do is in the memory it will allocate 2 bytes to this particular variable. 2 bytes, this one and this one. Similarly for int it will allocate 4, and for long it will allocate 8 or 4 depending upon the compiler. Okay, so these data types are highly dependent upon the compiler. What is the compiler and what is the system architecture? If it is 32-bit system, it will provide a different or it will provide or it will allocate different amount of bytes. If it is 64-bit architecture, it will provide different or allocate different amount of memory. Okay, so this is the basic idea I have given. Like byte will have less memory, short will have more than that, integer will have more than that, and long will have more than that. Sometimes somewhere long is also present. Okay, so keep this in mind. I'll show you like in the IDE all these things. Then we have characters. Characters are used to store data types which are of character type. Like suppose A, single character, B, single character, this ampersand sign, single character, this @ sign, single character. All these characters are stored in the memory, and these are called as the char data type. Okay, float data type, just I have told, like this number 4.2 and 4.5. So all these type of numbers are called as float number or real numbers. This double, and between double and float I have told you, like the difference is just the precision. Like double has more precision as compared to float, and long double has even more precision than double. Okay, so these are the various data types that are, these are the very basic data types that are used in C programming language. Okay, so let me go to the previous slide and these things will be more clear. Okay, see, whenever we say suppose here we have said int num, so what the compiler or what the computer will do is, inside the memory what it will do, it will allocate, suppose integer is given 4 bytes, so in the memory what it will do is 4 bytes of memory, 1 2 3 4 4 bytes of memory will be stored for this particular variable num. For this particular variable num, 4 bytes will be stored. So this is the use of this data type, because depending upon the data that you want to store, you will have to give this data type. Suppose if you want to store a huge amount of number, so you will need more bytes to store it, so you will use long or long instead of int. Okay, so this is the main. If you want to store a character, you would like to, like you would give here a char, because in that case the computer will understand, okay, the user wants to store a character type here in this particular memory location. So this is the main use of this data type. Okay, so what we have learned is basic data types are of 4 types: integer, character, float, and double. Okay, let me remove all this. Integers are of 4 types: byte, short, int, long. These are 4 categories depending upon the memory that are allocated in the for this particular variable. Then there are character, which is represented by char, float, this is float, and double. They have double and long double. Now, as I have said, if we represent any integer in the memory, so it is represented in the form of bytes. So here I have shown it a single byte. You can see here are 8 bits: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 8. So the problem that came here is how the computer will know, okay, whether it is a negative number or a positive number. So for that came here this signed and unsigned concept. Okay, so what happens is, suppose these are this is 1 byte or 8 bits. So 1 byte is equals to 8 bit. So total number of values that it can, total number of unique value that it can give is from 0 to 255. Okay, you can calculate this. Okay, like if you have any problem like understanding this, you can like go on YouTube and search for this binary calculations or how these values are calculated. You get a basic idea, and it is not much hard. Okay, so to solve this problem, whether the particular number should be negative or positive, how the computer will understand is, so what happened is, it was set that the particular or a single bit will be used to identify whether an integer is negative or positive. So if this particular last bit is 0, it is positive, and it is 1, it is negative. So what will happen is, now what we are left is, so for calculating the values, see, this particular bit has gone to indicate whether it is a positive number or negative number. So what happened is, now these many bits are only left to calculate the values. So what happened is, so if you calculate this, you will get that the values on the positive hand side, like above 0, you will get from 0 to 127, and from -1 to -128 are the two values that will get separated. Okay, so if this is number line, so here is a 0, so from 0 to 127, and from -128 to -1. So what happened is, so see, this signed and unsigned concept came here only. If 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 we are declaring our variable as suppose unsigned int, then the name of variable, so what will happen is, this unsigned will tell the compiler or the computer that this particular bit that normally is used to indicate whether or whether the number is positive or negative, it should be considered to calculate the value. If we say it's unsigned, and if we say it is signed, then this particular bit will be considered for calculating or for indicating whether it is a positive number or a negative number. Okay, so let me do this. See, if we are using a signed variable, then the last bit is taken as signed bit, else not. So if we use signed variable, so this last bit will be used to indicate whether it is positive or negative, and if we use unsigned, then this last one will be used, this last bit will not be used to indicate whether it is positive or negative. So in that case, the minimum value that we can get in case of unsigned, the minimum value that we can get is all of them become 0. This all of them become 0. So the minimum value that we'll get is 0, and the maximum value that we'll get is when all of them is equals to 1, that is 255. 255. Okay, so this is the case of unsigned. In case of signed, this just remember that this will get divided into two equal parts, one from 0 to 127, and other from -1 to -128. So this total will be again 256 total. Okay, so this is what the value of this signed and unsigned is. Just said that whether to take this last bit as a indication for positive and negative, or to use this in storing the values. So this is the main purpose of signed or unsigned. Okay, so in this particular data type, just see here that this particular data types chart has this character, unsigned character, short or int, unshort. So here, see, character is 1 byte, and it stores value from -128 to 127. Okay, just see, if we haven't mentioned anything here like unsigned or signed, then by default it is taken as signed integer. Okay, and if we have mentioned unsigned, then it is the last bit is not considered in calculating the last bit is not considered in for this indication of positive and a negative indication. Okay, so in that case the range is from 0 to 55, as I mentioned. Similarly, all those goes for integer, long, unsigned, long, float, double, and all those things. Okay, so this is just intro, we have discussed this here. Now we'll go through a few codes. Okay, yeah, See here, just like I have said, I have written the basic code, like so that not much not time is wasted here. So if we say, suppose int num, so what will happen is, now this int will tell, okay, num is the name of the variable that will be name of the variable, and this is the name of the memory that will be assigned, and how much memory has to be assigned. It's not like that we have how much, like 4 bits or 10 bytes, how much we have to assign the value to this particular variable. So that will be that the compiler will understand from this int, this data types. Okay, this is int data types. Okay, so we'll suppose we'll store 4 bytes for num. So this is how you create a variable. And if you want to store a value to a variable, you just give this assignment operator, and a give is equals to 10. So what this will do is, this will store this value 10 inside this variable num, which is of type int. Okay, so if we try to print this, see, this percent d is what? This percent d is a modifier of format specifier. What does it tell? That whatever you want to print here is an integer. Percent d is for integer. Okay, I'll just go through all the specifier once I have completed these variables and data types. Okay, so see this. So if we I'll build and run, and you see 10 has been printed. So this num value is an int, this num variable is an int that has this 10 value stored, and we printed using this format specifier percent d. Okay, similarly there are many types of data types like char, long, and all those things. So I just wanted to show you, if we don't store any value here, then what is printed. Okay, see here it is storing value 0, but it's not necessary that it will store 0 every time. It is a garbage value. By here it is set as 0, but by normally the garbage value that is set here is not always 0, it can change. Okay, so it's better whenever you declare a variable, you just store any default value or initial value in it. Okay, so this thing is like variables, and this is data types. So to show these things, like as we have discussed this character and range of this, to show this thing I have written a small program. I'll just quickly go through it so that you could have much clarity about it. Range. Okay, see, I'll also discuss this format specified in just a second after this thing. Okay, see, in this range.c program, I have used these two header files. Okay, this limits.h and this float.h. So I have discussed now how what are these role of these headers. They contain the declaration of the function or declaration of the values that we are using here. Okay, so what happens is, this size of operator here, you see this printf char size this. So what does this is, this size of the size of operator, what it does is, it takes a data type and it returns what is the size of this data type that will be assigned when the program starts running. Okay, so if you are writing size of char, so it will return, suppose 1 byte, so it will return 1 that will be assigned during when the program starts running. Okay, this char min is the minimum character or the minimum value that will be used in the unsigned character. Okay, this is the char max, with the maximum value that will be used in unsigned max. So if you go here, if you see in signed character, the maximum value is 127, the minimum is 128. So that is what here it is in this value of this char min, this char max, these are all stored in this limits.h. that is why we have included it. Okay, this u char means unsigned char max. So you know that the minimum value in an unsigned number is from 0. The maximum value we can get from here itself. Okay. So similarly, we have done for this C integer, for long, long, float, double, and long double. We are okay. So let me run this program and I'll show you what is the output. See. So the character is given 1 byte when the memory is when the program starts running. Okay. The value, the range of the signed character is from 1 minus 128 to 127, and the sign of unsigned character is from 0 to 255. You got the point? This is what we have discussed in this slide itself. Okay. Similarly, for integer, it is from minus this to minus this, but when we have used the unsigned, so the last bit will not be used to indicate whether it is positive or negative. It will completely be positive, so it starts from 0 and goes to this. If you see, like, if you add these two, it will be equal to adding these two. Add these two, you will get this. Okay, so it is the range is divided into two halves. Similarly, for long, see here, the long and int are allocated the same amount of memory, 4 bytes and 4 bytes. So here, if you want more than that, we can use long, which will allocated 8 bytes of memory, and hence the integer, the maximum integer value that we can store in long is in case of signed, it is from minus this thing to this thing, and for case of unsigned, it is from 0 to this. So these things you will have to keep in mind depending upon the program that you will be writing. If you are if you want a if you're writing a program in which the variable value will be getting more than this thing or will be more than this value, then you will have to use long. And if you use int or long, in that case, then your program will not give the correct output. Okay, so this is why you need to keep this in mind. Okay, what is the range of the data types that we are using? That is why I have shown you that you have to keep in mind the range of the data types while writing your program for your case, for like whatever purpose you are writing your program. Okay, so this has happened. Now here we have discussed one thing, what is this format specifier. So format specifier also I have written a small program so that you can get a clarity about it. See here, this %d, this %d indicates that whatever value that we are going to print here will be an integer. Okay, this f is used for a float, %c is used for character, and this o is used for octal. Like we have this binary system, then this decimal system, this is octal system, and this is hexadecimal system. So I'll just quickly go through it. See, this %d means that this 10 will be printed here. Okay, let me run it. Yes, see, so when it is said here like %d, so what happened is, okay, let me see, when you do %d, it means that this particular 10 value will be stored in this place, hence we got here 10. Okay, see, what this %3d means, that there must be at least 3 characters that will be stored, like while printing it. So but here we can say we have only 2 characters here, 1 and 0. So what will happen is, it will introduce one more character here by itself, a white space here. See, so this white space, one character, then this one another character, then this 0. So here it has printed 3 characters. Okay, that is the symbol of 3. Then we have this %f. This is used to like print the floating value. Okay, so if 10.3 is there, then %f will be used, and see, it has printed this 10.3000. So by default, what does it does is, whatever value that you have, it goes up to this 6 digit. Okay, after 6 digit, we can change that also. See, then %4f tells, okay, we will need only up to 4 characters, that is, at least there should be total of 6 width. The width should be at least of 6. Okay, so this is the meaning of %4 or %6, whatever you put there. Okay, and if you are writing see this thing, 4.3 or zero point 0.2, it means that here the 0.2, it means that after the point there will be only two characters available. Okay, so if we are having zero point 0.2, see here after the decimal there are only two digits per decimal, wherever we have here provided only 3 3 4 5. After that here it is printed only 2, and that too also rounded off. Okay, see 3 4 5 it was, here it is printed 3 4. Okay, if we say 4.3, it means that the total width should be at least 4, and after the decimal it should be 3. So here the total width is 5, which is greater than 4. Okay, and after decimal it will be 3 digits, 10 point. So here it is printed 10.345. Then comes this %c. This particular format specifier is used for characters. Okay, so here you can see the character A. So if you want to print that, you can see here A. Okay, and then octal value and hexadecimal value. So here 10 is in decimal form. So if you want to print it in octal form, you can see it is printed as 1 2, that 2 into 1 and 8 into 1, so it's 10. Here it is hexadecimal and it is printed as A. If you're not getting the hexadecimal and octal, like no need to worry, I'll just shown you like these things. These are the format. There are much more, like more format specifier available. So I've just given it okay what a format specifier is. Like it is used to tell what kind of data that is printed there and in what format that you want to print. Like if you want only 2 decimal after the point, if you can put it like this. So this is what format specifier actually is. Okay, and this program is for okay, let me show you so that you can note it down. So this particular program is to show that what are the minimum and the maximum values, and these two headers are included to get the values. So this is for up to in long, and this is for float double and long double. Okay, and here we have discussed this variables and data types part. Okay, so here I have completed this variables and data types. If you have like any feedback, or if you like the video, please like the video, comment here for your feedback, share it, subscribe it if you like the video. Thank you.